Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wal-aqibatu lil-muttaqeen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal-mursaleen. Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. نويت أتعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير ونفاع والدفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وبسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. Right guys, Alhamdulillah. So we are gathered today, inshallah, for the culmination of what has been an endeavor for about the last 15 to 16 months, alhamdulillah. First of all, I want to remind ourselves of some of the narrations that the Prophet ﷺ says with regards to gatherings like this. We know of a very famous narration where the Prophet ﷺ says that when you go past one of the gardens of paradise, spend time in the garden of paradise. The companions of the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, "What are these gardens of paradise that you're talking about, Ya Rasulullah?" And the Prophet ﷺ said, these gardens of paradise are the circles of ilm, circles of knowledge, gatherings where people learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people learn about the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's word. Okay? And these are, the Prophet said, these are gardens of paradise. Okay? These are gardens of paradise. And what would paradise be like? What would we experience when we're in paradise? The Prophet says that the sweetness that you taste in gatherings like this, that is the sweetness that you will find in Jannah. That's what the Prophet said. Another narration that ties into kind of this is the Prophet says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ, that indeed actions are by their ending. The Prophet said that actions, we know the famous hadith that actions are by their intentions, but also he said actions بِالْخَوَاتِيمِهَا, they are by their endings as well. Meaning that there are blessings at the start of an endeavor and there are also blessings at the end. This kind of class that we've had really started around about like I'd say January 2017, and we had about 20 odd students. So we started kind of learning the Arabic language and grammar and stuff like that, and a lot of people were just like, what is going on, right? What is this, right? But alhamdulillah, there were a few who kind of still continued, and mashallah, you know, are still with us, you know, today and still studying. So what we did is we kind of like learned some of the rudimentary kind of skills and rules of grammar, and then we start to apply it to the Quran. Because my vision and my experiences over the past kind of maybe 6 or 7 years of kind of studying religion is that basically, you know, in order for us to really be successful, we really have to focus on the Quran and studying of the Quran. Partly because there's just no politics involved in the Quran. You don't have to get involved in any kind of mess or, you know, people, and there's no kind of, you know, group. Quran is just pure. There's no kind of, you know, difference of opinion with regards to Quran. There's purity in it. It's Allah's kalam. Yeah? And on top of that, the Quran is miraculous. And this is something that I kind of mention to our students often. See, the tanzeel of the Quran, the revelation of the Quran, from what we know from the sciences of Quran, took place in the time of the Prophet ﷺ over a period of 23 years, starting with Iqra' bismi rabbikal ladhi khalaq and ending with the ayah in Surah Baqarah. And that was the kind of entire revelation that came down to the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? That's called tanzeel, revelation. But there's something else called tanazzul. And tanazzul is meanings. The meanings of the Quran are being revealed even to this day. Since they were first revealed to the Prophet ﷺ in the cave of Hira, up until today and up until Qiyamah, the meanings of the Quran will continue to be revealed from the heavens. What does that mean? That means that you and I can open up the Quran, read it, reflect it upon it, and have openings and understandings from those verses that no one has ever had in the entire, you know, creation of man. That's the miracle of the Quran. And for us, in our kind of endeavor to kind of, you know, get closer to Allah Ta'ala and to stay on this Sirat al-Mustaqim, it fundamentally requires our attachment to this book. Okay? And, you know, the starting point of that is to understand it. That's the starting point. To understand what is Allah Ta'ala saying to us. Okay? And so that's been the whole purpose of this. And we started then to look at Surah Baqarah from the start of Surah Al-Fatiha up until today, where we've come to literally the last 3 ayahs of Surah Baqarah. So I think it's quite momentous that we've got here. And the endeavor, inshallah, is to kind of continue on to Surah Al-Imran and all the way, inshallah, to the end of the Quran. Just reflecting, sitting and learning and taking meanings from the Quran. Okay, so that's the endeavor. Right? But I reiterate this point that we must become people who understand fundamentally what is the Quran saying to us. Right? And there's two things to that I'll say. The first thing is, one thing is to actually understand what Allah Ta'ala is saying. So what are the meanings? You can probably get that from a translation. Okay, you open up any translation, you can get what Allah Ta'ala says, what are the meanings of the words. But there's another type of understanding, which is the way in which Allah Ta'ala is conveying the message. Okay? If I say to you, listen, Umar, Magnum is nice. Yeah? People are like, alright, fine. And if I say to you, you know, on days when there was nothing, on days when my throat was crying to me, on days when I was yearning for something, there in the desert was a Magnum. Yeah? I was probably dreaming somewhere there, right? But the point is, see the eloquence and the beauty that I went to, then Umar was thinking, whoa, give me a bit of that Magnum as well. Not that I'm going to give him any, but the point is that, see that? So, generally you find the actual message and meaning of the Quran is actually pretty basic. But the way in which Allah Ta'ala describes it in the language and the linguistic of it, that is the greater miracle. And remember, who is this Quran revealed to? This Quran is revealed to the generation of the Prophet ﷺ, the Quraysh. They were people who were operating at the highest level of language. They spoke in poetry. You know, if you look at someone like the pre-Jahili poetry, their imagination was amazing. And then the Quran comes and they're like, wow. You see that? So if those people are saying that, then we need to taste that. You know, like our reading of the Quran should be like the reading of the Sahaba. That's the level that we want. May Allah give us that. Okay. So these are just small endeavors towards that. Okay. Then after that is reflection. Then after that is implementation. You know, but we've got to start somewhere, isn't it? Unfortunately, for many of us, it's just been we just read the Quran. You know, we'll finish the Quran. We'll get happy when we read the Quran, and we don't understand anything that's being said. Right. So we have to move beyond that now, particularly in this day and age, where so many people have doubts with regards to Islam. Why do they have doubts with regards to Islam? Because they are not attaching to the fundamental sources of our religion, the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And you can't say, well, I didn't understand it. How can we say that in front of Allah Ta'ala when we have so many resources in front of us? Anyway, that's the point. You know, we ask Allah Ta'ala that He gives us strength and ability. So we're going to be going through ayah number 248 and then the final ayah up to 286, inshallah. 284 to 286, inshallah, of Surah Baqarah. Okay, just a bit of background of Surah Baqarah. So Surah Baqarah was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, a majority of it in Medina. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ said that everything has a sana, everything has a peak, a mountain top. وَسَنَمُ الْقُرْآنِ Surah Baqarah. And the peak, the mountain top of Quran is Surah Baqarah. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said about Surah Baqarah. It's a beautiful surah. Okay, it encapsulates so much in there. We have history in there, we have law in there, we have belief in there, we have tazkiyah, purification in there. So much is encapsulated within Surah Al-Baqarah. Okay? One of the things that's interesting about these particular verses is that these verses were revealed in the Isra wal Miraj. Okay? So the Prophet ﷺ, we know about what happened in the Isra wal Miraj when the Prophet ﷺ from Makkah, he was taken upon the Buraq to Masjid al-Aqsa, and then from Masjid al-Aqsa, did the Uruj up to the seven heavens and beyond the Sidratul Muntaha, to the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed these verses to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? And that is amazing, because how many verses are there in the Quran? Anybody know? So you should know, you asked me the question the other day. What was it? 6,600 and? Yeah? 6,600 or something, some sixes, yeah? I think it's 6,617 or something. Okay, around about that much. Out of all of them, the two ayahs 285 and 286 were revealed in the heavens. Everything else was revealed upon the earth. Okay, that's the blessings of these two ayahs. And there are multiple ahadith mentioned about the fadail of these ayat. The Prophet ﷺ said that if you recite these two ayat at the end of your day, لَكَفَتَاهُ, they will be sufficient for you. Meaning all of your needs, all of your affairs, they will be fulfilled by virtue of these two ayahs. So they're very, very powerful ayahs. And we should make them part of our wird, part of our regular reading that we recite every night. Okay. One of the things that's interesting, particularly with regards to Surah Baqarah, is that, like for example, you come to a dars, right? So, I'll start, I'll say Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, praise and everything, and it's all good because we totally believe in the Quran, and we have full conviction in the Quran. Some and I don't know, maybe it's an interesting endeavor. Sometimes you should listen to the critical analysis of the Quran. Okay, so maybe some people can't do that because it was difficult upon the soul. But if you look at, like, for example, non-Muslims looking at the Quran, they don't give the hamd and salawat and praise. They look at it from a critical perspective. Just like any book, yeah, like for example, films, yeah. What do? They critically analyze film. Well, this was wrong, etc. Likewise, when non-Muslims look at the Quran, they don't have the iman that we have. So when they look at the Quran, they'll look at it from a critical perspective. And one of the things that a lot of kind of critics will bring forth with regards to the Quran is the issue of incoherence. It's not coherent. 1 minute you're talking about taqwa, next minute you're talking about jihad, next minute you're talking about hajj, next minute this, next minute Bani Israel. Where is the coherence in all of this? Right? But what is important to understand is the Quran essentially it has what's known as nadam. It has coherent, beautiful coherence in it. Okay? And I'll give you an example with regards to Surah Baqarah. So let's look at Surah Baqarah from both ends, from the start of Surah Baqarah and the end of Surah Baqarah. From the start of Surah Baqarah, okay, the discussion is first about believers. First about the people of taqwa. Hudal lil muttaqeen. This is guidance for the people of taqwa. Those who establish their prayer and believe in the unseen and give their rizq and believe. These are the people who are of that, the station. Then he speaks about the disbelievers. Khatamallahu ala qulubihim. We've closed their hearts and their eyesight and their hearing. Then he will speak about the hypocrites and how the hypocrites, Allah Ta'ala has made sickness within their heart. So that's the first discussion. This discussion from the other end, what does it talk about? Iman. Strengthening Iman and eradicating hypocrisy. Nifaq. So see how they're linked? From both ends they're linked. The next discussion in Surah Baqarah is the issue of the creation of Adam alayhi salam. What happens to Adam alayhi salam? What is the sin that he did? What did he do? Yeah, he ate from the tree that Allah Ta'ala forbade, right? Why did he do that? When he had the entire Jannah, why did he eat from the tree? Tempted by shaitan. What else?
Being immortal, eternal.
Okay.
Or elevated to the rank of angels.
Okay. There's something that he had within him. What was it? One word.
The curiosity to find out.
No, not the word I'm looking for. There's something inside him that made him want to go and get that.
Immortality.
Kind of attached to that.
Desire.
Close to that.
Greed.
Greedy. Yeah. Allah Ta'ala gave him everything. He said, don't touch this. But he went after it. It was greed, wasn't it? Right? That's the second discussion in Surah Al-Baqarah about Adam and Islam. Look at the second last discussion. Usury, Sood. What is usury and Sood? It's greed, isn't it? It's greed. Running after something, it's not yours and you're still running after it. So see the coherence in that element? Look at then the third one. One of the biggest chunks in Surah Al-Baqarah speaks about the Bani Israel. Okay, and their disobedience with regards to the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, actual story of the Baqarah, the cow. Okay, there's a lot of discussion about their disobedience. Okay, there was the third last discussion in Surah Al-Baqarah, the laws for this ummah. So the Bani Israel is the ummah before us. This is the ummah. Then we have discussion about Ramadan, about Hajj, about the changing of the Qibla. All of these are rules. So you see how we have one ummah that disobeys the rules, and now these are the rules for you. Are you going to obey them? So there's coherence in that element. And then, even more beautiful than that, who is the prophet that's between the Bani Israel and the Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ? Because remember, Ibrahim alayhi salam is at the top, then his son Ishaq, from Ishaq is Yaqub, and that's the tribe of the Bani Israel, the 12 tribes of Bani Israel. Then you have Ismail, and from the descendants of Ismail is our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he is the meeting point, right? What does he say when he builds the Kaaba? He builds the Kaaba and he makes a special dua. He says, "Oh Allah, make this place aminan, make this place secure, warzuq ahlahu, and give their people rizq." He asks for security and he asks for rizq. What's that famous? Then look on the other side. What's the famous dua? What's the famous ayah that is recited oftentimes in prayer? وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. And we will test you with regards to khawf. When did your khawf go away? when you're secure. That's what Ibrahim alayhi salam asked for. Wal-ju', hunger. What did he ask for? Sustenance. So you see how that's connected? And then it was even more beautiful than that. In the middle of this surah, Allah Ta'ala, He says that we have made وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةٌ وَسَطًا, and we made you a middle nation. Wasata means middle. You know what ayah that is? Ayah number 143. How many ayahs in Surah Baqarah?
286.
What's half of 286? 143. And in that, Allah Ta'ala says we made you a middle nation. See that? And you know what's even more miraculous about that? You see, when Surah Baqarah is revealed, it's revealed over 10 years. Allah Ta'ala doesn't start with Alif Lam Mim Zalika al-Kitaba. He doesn't do it like that. They have this portion and 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 this portion. It's all like, you know, in the context of revelation. And when it's all brought together, that's the middle ayah. How amazing that is. This is the miracle of this. And that's like one miracle of many. Okay? So this is the point. Anyway, we'll start now with the first ayah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَإِن تُبْدُوا مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَوْ تُخْفُوهُ يُحَاسِبُكُم بِهِ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرُ لِمَن يَشَاءُ وَيُعَذِّبُ مَن يَشَاءُ وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. So لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. To Allah alone belongs what is in the heavens and what is in the earth. Okay? وَإِن تُبْدُوا مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ. And if you try to make something, to make something apparent, you do something outwardly, you make something apparent, مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ, what is in yourself, أَوْ تُخْفُوهُ, or you try to hide it. يُحَاسِبُكُم بِهِ اللَّهُ. So anything that you do apparently, or anything that you do hidden, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take you to account. So what happens now is that the companions who are hearing this, they get worried. Because, you know, the outward actions that we do, that's fair enough, we're going to be taken into account. But what's hidden? What's hidden in all of us? Thoughts. What's going on in our mind? That's hidden, right? So this, according to this, then this Allah is saying, well then, you're going to be taking account for your thoughts. Okay? And the companions started to get worried, like, Ya Rasulullah, like, we're going to be taken into account for our thoughts? Like, how are we going to be able to survive? Like, you know, we always have these fleeting bad thoughts. How are we going to be able to control them? Right? So the Prophet ﷺ says, you need to, you know, say Sami'na wa ata'na, which comes later. You just say, we hear and we obey. We obey whatever you're saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever you say, that we obey. Afterwards, it's revealed that you're going to be taken into account for your outward actions. Your thoughts you're not taken into account for. What is the lesson that we take from that? Is the issue generally of accountability. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take us to account for everything that we do, small or big. Okay? Even to the extent of the words that we speak. Every single word that we say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take us to account. And that's kind of fundamental to our belief. Fundamental to who we are as Muslims. The issue of hisab. The issue of accountability. Okay? The issue of accountability. But in particular, like, what about the thoughts? Like, you know, still there's an issue with regards to thoughts. What if you have bad thoughts with regards to somebody? What if, like, I go and I'm like, okay, well, Umar has like loads of magnums, and I'm going to go to his house, I'm going to steal them all. Right? And I'm going now, and I'm on the way to Umar's house, and I'm going to go do that, and I need those magnums, yeah? Okay? And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I have a car crash or something stops me from that. That evil resolve that I had, Allah will still take you to account for that. Because you had that resolve and you were acting upon that resolve. Okay, you didn't do the act, but Allah will still take you to account for that. Now, how often, you know, do you have people who harbor hatred for other people, or hate that person, you know, and you just have so much hatred? You don't think Allah Ta'ala will take you to account for that? That bad nature that you have to other people, that looking down upon other people, no one's seeing it. It's just something that's, you know, playing in your mind. Don't you think Allah will take you to account for that? That's what Allah is saying. If you try to make it apparent, or you try to hide it, Allah will take you to account for it. Allah will, you know, do His hisab in this regard. Okay? فَيَغْفِرُ لِمَن يَشَاءُ وَيُعَذِّبُ مَن يَشَاءُ. Allah forgives whom He wills, and He will punish whomever He wills. Okay? He will forgive who He wills, and He will punish whoever He wills. Are there more people? Yeah. Yeah, time to come in. Yes. فَيَغْفِرُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيُعَذِّبُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah Ta'ala, He forgives whomever He wills, and He will punish whomever He wills. You know, this is very, very interesting, very, very important, okay? Oftentimes, you know, we have this, you know, some people, particularly people who start to get a bit more religious, they start to not only look down upon other people, they start to close the doors of maghfirah for people. Allah Ta'ala will never forgive you. Look how bad you are, Allah will never forgive you. You know, that is haram. It's haram to close the doors of forgiveness. Who are you to say, you know, who are you to say that Allah Ta'ala will forgive whomever He wills? Allah said, فَيَغْفِرُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. He will forgive whomever He wills. That's up to Him. Who are you to close the doors of Jannah for people? Who are you to close the doors of forgiveness for people? Okay? So Allah Ta'ala, He says this. Okay? And this is, you know, very, very important, right? That in our endeavor towards kind of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, He is the goal. No other Shaykh, no other Pir, no other Maulvi. Allah Ta'ala is the goal. And nothing else will go. Even the Prophet ﷺ, we don't have that type of same kind of trust that we have with Allah, that we have with the Prophet ﷺ. I'll give you an example of this. Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha, when the famous kind of slander was made against Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha, that, you know, that she was coming back from a battle, you know, she got delayed on a battle, and she was coming back, and there was another companion, and it was just after the battle, people were in Medina, and they saw her coming, and after they saw a companion come. And then people, the munafiqeen, started to make this thing that maybe something immoral has taken place. Okay? So Aisha finds out about it, and then she gets really upset, and she cries and cries and cries. And it's really interesting what actually takes place. Okay? What actually takes place is that Sayyidah Aisha, she says that, you know, so she's like crying, and all of these kind of allegations are being made against her, that she's, you know, somebody who's immoral. It's going to have to go in the outtakes, I think.
How did you see my place?
Right. Comfortable? So, what happened with Sayyidah Aisha anha, that she, like, so this allegation is made about her of immorality, and what happens is that, like, she's like really, really upset. The people have made this allegation. Why would she? You know, she's such a chaste woman, okay? Radhiyallahu anha. So she cries and cries and cries, right? And then what happens is that she confines herself to her own chambers, and the Prophet ﷺ comes one day and says to her that, look, you know, if you have done something, then just say it, and if you haven't done something, then, you know, just say it. And she gets upset, right? That, you know, even her own husband is saying that maybe, you know, she's done something. So she goes, you know, you just want me to say that I've done something. That's what you want me to say, right? And I will say what Yusuf's father said. فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ وَاللَّهُ الْمُسْتَعَانِ. This is, he says what Yaqub alayhi salam said, right? Now, then the ayahs come down with regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala, He basically said, look, you know, she's innocent. And so obviously this ayah comes to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet said, look, glad tidings Aisha, you've been, you know, you're okay. And so in the room is Sayyidah Aisha, the Prophet ﷺ, and Sayyidah Aisha's mother and father. Okay? So the mother says to Aisha, you know, why don't you hug the Prophet ﷺ? You know, you've been made free, you know, you're innocent. And she said, no, not interested. Yeah? I go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like that's, you know, look at that type of, you know, she went to God. Even at that time, even though she was made innocent, she said, no, Allah. Wallahu al-musta'an. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one you seek help from. So the message that we take from this is that to Allah belongs everything that's in the heavens and the earth, and to Allah belongs your forgiveness. To Allah belongs your salvation. To Allah belongs your success. Okay? So it's very important that we, you know, that we reflect and we take from that. Okay? The next thing is these last two ayahs. Amra Rasul bima unzila ilayhi min rabbihi wal mu'minun. Now these two ayahs are the two ayahs that are revealed to the Prophet ﷺ in the Isra wal Mi'raj. Okay? Now just think about the Isra wal Mi'raj for a second. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ and Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam and Hazrat Mikail alayhi salam, they wake up the Prophet ﷺ in Makkah. They open up his chest and they clean his chest. Okay? And then they take him and he alights upon the Buraq, and he goes towards Masjid al-Aqsa. At Masjid al-Aqsa, he leads the prayer of the entire corpus of Anbiya and Rusul. All of the prophets and the messengers and the angels, they all pray behind the Prophet ﷺ in Masjid al-Aqsa. Then, from that point, the Prophet ﷺ and Jibreel alayhi salam, they now ascend the heavens. And the ahadith are famous about it. They ascend to the first heaven, they knock on the door, and the angel of the first heaven says, "Who is it?" And then Jibreel says, "Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is here." So the door is opened, and in the first heaven is who? Adam alayhi salam. And Adam alayhi salam says, "Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi." Okay, Nabiyul Kareem or Ibnul Kareem. Peace be to you, blessed noble prophet and blessed noble son. Because Adam alayhi salam, the forefather. So then he descends, goes to various different heavens, then gets to the seventh heaven, sees Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay, Ibrahim alayhi salam is also his forefather, blessed son, blessed prophet. Then he gets to the Sidratul Muntaha. What is the Sidratul Muntaha? It is the end point. Okay. So as they're ascending, the Prophet ﷺ and Jibreel are ascending, they get to the Sidratul Muntaha, and Jibreel stops and the Prophet ﷺ continues to ascend. And then he stops and he says to Jibreel, "Is a companion going to leave the traveller? Like, I'm travelling and I have a companion and you're going to leave me now?" And Jibreel said, "I can't go here now. That's my end point. This is your invitation." And so then the Prophet descends, and we don't know where he ascends to, but he ascends to the presence, the hudur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they have a discourse. And the discourse is these ayahs. These ayahs. Now look what Allah ta'ala, He says to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, "Amana ar-rasul bima unzila ilayhi min rabbih." The messenger has believed with what was revealed to him from his master. If, for example, Umar comes to me, and you're gonna get it today, okay? Yeah, you've got magnums, everything, yeah? So Umar comes to me, and I say, "Oh, I haven't seen you for some time." Why would I say I haven't seen you? You. Because it's second person, isn't it? You. I wouldn't say I haven't seen Umar for some time. How about Umar? That wouldn't make sense, would it? So why is Allah Ta'ala doing it here? Out of respect for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah? The messenger, he believes in what Allah, what was revealed to him from his master. Why would you mention somebody in the third person whilst they're in front of you? Only out of respect. Only out of respect. Okay? And he does that for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? The messenger. Okay? Subhanallah. Yeah, believes in what was revealed to him from his master. Okay? And even the way he said that, like Allah Ta'ala could have said, the messenger believes in what I've sent to him, what I have sent to him. But he says, what was revealed to him. What was revealed to him. If I say, for example, that the magnum was et. Okay? The magnum was et. In that sentence, the magnum was et. Who does the eating? Do we know? It's hidden, isn't it? So it's a type of, it's called a passive expression. But we don't know who's doing the verb. Yeah, who's doing the eating. So here, we don't know who's doing the thing. So what does that create? That creates a bit of mystery. So the magnum was by who? The Quran was revealed by who? Yeah? So that's like a bit of a mystery. But then Allah Ta'ala then affirms it, mir rabbihi, from his master. So then like that mystery is then solved. Like the Quran was revealed by who? Mir rabbihi, from his master. And what's even more beautiful, Allah says mir rabbihi, his master. And whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attaches himself to something else, that shows a level of connection. That shows a great rank. Okay? Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say in one of the ayahs of the Quran, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِي الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا. Beautiful. Allah Ta'ala, He says, my slaves who have wronged themselves. Okay? لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ. Do not despair from the mercy of Allah. Allah says, my slaves. When He says mine, like, see that level of love? See that level of connection? See that ta'alluq? Allah Ta'ala could have said, oh, the slaves who are walking upon the earth. He said, my slave, they're mine. So He said, Mir Rabbi, this is His master, the connection that He has. And in that moment, in that connection, in that discourse between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from his mercy, he remembers us as well. One mu'minun. Who are we? One of the great realities of the Prophet ﷺ is he came back after the Isra wal Miraj. He was in the presence of God. He could have said, look, Ya Allah, I'm happy here. I'm with you, Ya Allah, I don't need anything else. He came back, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and even there he remembered us. Wal mu'minun. He remembered you and me, poor, sinful slaves. He remembered us. Okay, so he says that the messenger believed in what was revealed to him from his master, and the believers, wal mu'minun, and the believers. He remembered us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. See, why is this important? The belief of the Prophet ﷺ is very important because, like I mentioned at the start of Surah Baqarah, is this discussion about hypocrisy and nifaq. And hypocrisy and nifaq is this disease of the heart, which is mentioned very, very often in the Quran. Mentioned more than any other type of disease of the heart. Okay? Hypocrisy is something that will continue up until Yawm al-Qiyamah. There will always be hypocrites. Okay? And then Yawm al-Qiyamah they'll be exposed. But nifaq, hypocrisy, is something that is always there. Okay? And so, in the kind of conclusion of this entire surah, Allah Ta'ala is affirming the belief of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very, very important. What do we believe in? What do we believe in? Okay? It's like a story that we mentioned from when we were in university. One of our teachers said, the questions that we're going to be asked in the grave. What are the questions that we're going to be asked in the grave? Man Rabbuk? Who is your Lord? Ma dinuka? What's your religion? Mada kunta tatakallam an hadha rajul? What do you say about this man? Meaning the Prophet. Who is he to you? These are the questions that we're going to be asked in the grave. Okay? And so our teacher said, okay, well, I'm going to give you a piece of paper now and a pen, and you got 1 week. What do you say about the messenger? What have you got to say? What have you got? Don't use any books. Don't use anything. What have you got to say about the messenger? What can you produce? And the sister came a week after, and she gave this piece of paper, and it was crinkled. It had like one line on there, and it was just crinkled up. And she said, "You asked me to write about the Prophet ﷺ, all I've got is a page of tears. Nothing else. How can I talk about the Messenger of Allah? Yeah. What can we say about Allah? Like you say Allahu Akbar in prayer, what's going on through your mind? What's going on? Who are you standing in front of? Allah has given you an opportunity to stand in front of Him. What's going on in your mind? Who are you standing in front of? Why are these other satanic thoughts going on during the prayer? Okay? Belief is very, very important. We have to solidify our belief. And that knowledge, learn who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are His names? What are His attributes? Who is He to you? Okay? May Allah give us firmness in that. You see, the point is here, that's our taklif. That's our responsibility. Allah, the Prophet says, we're with Him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we truly believe in what was revealed. That's the point. The connection with the book. That's it. Yeah? That's the whole purpose of this. Okay? Kullun, all of them. آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله. They all believe in all of the angels and books and messengers. لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله. We do not separate, okay, between any of the prophets. One of the things that the kind of previous generations, like the Bani Israel and the Christians, they will single out, like for example Musa alayhi salam. They will single out Jesus alayhi salam, and they will forget about all of the previous prophets. I know this is a problem for us. I'll give you a litmus test. Remember when we had this Charlie Hebdo issue, when these people drew pictures about the Prophet ﷺ? We got angry, right? Why did we get angry? This is our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is our Prophet sallallahu, and we have a kind of jealousy for our Rasul sallallahu. Why is it that when they disrespect Isa alayhi salam, we don't have the same anger? They disrespect Adam alayhi salam and the story of Adam alayhi salam. Why do we not have that same anger? We're not supposed to, لا نفرق. We're not supposed to separate between prophets. They're all one corpus. They all have one message. Why is it that we have certain for one Nabi, but we don't care about the others? Obviously, the Prophet ﷺ is the Rasul al-Azam, the greatest prophet. But where is our concern for the rest? Where is our yearning for the rest? And that's what that shows. We don't separate. We don't say, well, yeah, we definitely believe in the Rasul. We don't really know about the rest of them. Okay? We don't really know about the rest of them. Yeah? May Allah Ta'ala give us ability to be able to do that and champion all of the prophets who came, okay? And with the message of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قَالُوا سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. This is the lesson that I want you to take from today. What did these people say, okay, who truly believe? سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. We heard and we obeyed. We heard and we obeyed. We heard and we obeyed. In order for us to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to listen. Right? People nowadays, more like, oh, we're not doing this and we're not doing that. You need to listen first. You need to listen to what Allah ta'ala is saying. What is Allah ta'ala saying to you? What does Allah ta'ala require of you, O slave of God? What does He want from you? How are you going to know your purpose in life if you do not read what Allah ta'ala has said, if you don't listen to what Allah ta'ala has brought forward for you? That is fundamentally important. And this is like, this is kind of bringing back to my original point, that we have, unfortunately made the Quran just a book of recital, of qira'ah. It's not meant to be just a book of qira'ah, it's meant to be a book of tilawah. There's a difference. Qira'ah is mere recital. Tilawah is a recital which causes you to follow what is being actually recited. Understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. We have to create those environments where we learn about the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is Allah ta'ala saying to us? Okay, what is being said? It's very, very important. And those gatherings are gatherings of blessing. Some people say to me, in my zeal and passion, I want to do a program, and often Akmal is like not the devil's advocate, but he's always like, he's something, are you sure you want to do this? You're doing all this. Who's gonna come? And I'm like, even if one person comes and he takes something, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. At least they take something. At least we did sami'na wa ata'na. At least we listened. In fact, ata'na here, we obeyed. That's us today. You could have been going, watching a movie, or you could have been going out for a dinner, but you had a care and concern for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to you, so you came. Alhamdulillah. And those little tidbits, we need to do that. That small, keep coming and keep listening and keep taking part. Not necessarily with me, but with anything, any good, anything that touches you. Now, what's interesting here is next. So, Allah Ta'ala says, we hear and we obey, ghufranak, your forgiveness. I thought you're only supposed to ask for forgiveness when you disobey. Here is saying, ata'na, we obey. So why is Allah Ta'ala, why are we asking for Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness after we have obeyed Him? Because have we obeyed Him constantly? No. Have we listened to His word constantly? No. There's been times when we've had blips. There's times when we've fallen short. So we're asking Allah Ta'ala for forgiveness. And the way Allah Ta'ala says this is beautiful. Here it's not like, oh Allah Ta'ala, please forgive me. It's like, your forgiveness. Your forgiveness. Ghufranak. See, the way Allah Ta'ala says it, that's like pleading. Your forgiveness. That's it. Doesn't matter, when you say like, oh Allah, forgive me, you put yourself in the equation. But part of kind of like true attachment is when you annihilate yourself from the situation. Ya Allah, I'm nothing, just you, your forgiveness, yours, ghufranak, your forgiveness. See how Allah Ta'ala does that? Rabbana wa ilayka al-masir, and to you is the masir. Masir has two meanings. It has a meaning of end destination, and it also has a meaning of changing something. So it's as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, look, we will, Ya Allah, we will listen to your kalam, we will obey your kalam, we seek your forgiveness, okay, and we want to get to that end destination where you change our situation, which is what? From this low state to a state of Jannah. Ameen, that's the dua that we're making, isn't it? Okay, this is the dua that we're making. Okay. Then Allah Ta'ala, He says, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Okay. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. That Allah does not burden a soul إلا وسعها, except within its capacity. This is very, very important. Wusa in the Arabic language has the meaning of when you are free flowing. Like for example, when you can walk and you just like walk like your arms are flowing. That's wusa. Like you're comfortable. Allah Ta'ala is saying here, we do not burden a slave more than his capability, more than this. So it's as if Allah Ta'ala is saying, we won't even make you do this. That's the meaning we brought here. What that means is, we can take many meanings from this. One of the meanings from taking this is, sometimes we go through test in life. We go through tribulation in life. We go through imtihan in life. And oftentimes we forget, Allah Ta'ala, first of all, Allah created you. Allah created you, and He knows, right, your capacity. If you're not able to have children, Allah knows your capacity. Allah knows you have the sabr to deal with it. Some people don't have the sabr to deal with it, so He doesn't give them that test. Some people, they have less money, right? They have less rizq. Allah knows you have the sabr to deal with it. So He gives you that test. Some people can't have the sabr for that. So Allah Ta'ala gives them a different test. We oftentimes think, well, I'm in difficulty. What about him? His test is different. His wusa', his capacity is different to yours. You're unique in your own ability, right? Joe Blogg's there. He's unique in his ability. And so, from the fundamental thing that we should remember about test is, Allah knows. Allah knows I can deal with this. Yeah? Like, what do they say? Sabr ala sadmat al-ula. It's at the first situation. Like you hear, for example, bad news. What do you say? What comes out? We know what comes out. Yeah? We know the bad that comes out, isn't it? As soon as we hear something, right? That's sabr. Ala sadmat al-ula. The first clasp. What comes out? That's sabr. Afterwards, when you say, oh, Allah ni marzi si and everything, oh, that's after you've sat down and calmed down and reflected, isn't it? Right? But the point here is that one of the things we have to remind ourselves is whatever test you're going through, Allah knows about you. You know, like for example, you see this sometimes on YouTube, like, they have a car and they're going to test the airbags of the car. So what they do, they'll put it on a track and they will send it, right? Now, the people who made the car, they know the car. They put the airbags in. So they know what's going to happen to it, right? And if it's like, let's say the airbag comes out late, they're like, okay, we need to tweak it because we know what we need to do here. They know that they made the thing. Allah's made you. He knows you to your fingerprint. He knows what you're about. And He knows the test that He puts you through in ya abd. He knows that. Right? So why are you worrying and upsetting and getting stressed and getting worried about it? Leave it in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. Allah Ta'ala will not overburden somebody more than what they are capable of. Okay? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright? لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. To him ما كسبت, what he has earned. وعليها ما اكتسبت. So these are interesting. Kaf, Sin, Ba. Kaf, Sin, Ba. So those are the root letters. Kasab. Kasab means like you're earning, what you've earned. Okay? So لها ما كسبت. To you is whatever you've earned. Meaning the good that you do, Yawm al-Qiyamah, you'll get what you earned. Meaning you'll get the reward for it. Iktisab there with the ta now, you see Kaf, Sin and Ba are together here. Kaf, there's now a ta here. Then a Sin and a Ba. What does that ta do? That ta, see, kasabat here is all those things which are easy for you. We have been created with the fitrah. And part of our fitrah is to do good is easy. To do good things is easy for us. This is to earn things which are difficult, hard for us. And what is hard for us? To sin. To sin is hard. Why do we find sin easy? Because we listen to the shaitan. We didn't listen to Sami'na wa ata'na, what we should be listening to, but we listen to something else. So that's when that becomes easy and that becomes hard. Where in reality Allah Ta'ala says, your good should be easy for you. You've got this fitrah within you. What did Allah Ta'ala say? وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِنَا. When He created Adam, He blew in from His spirit, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. So we have this goodness within us. Okay? And then He said, وَعَلَيْهَا مَكْتَسَبَتْ. And upon that nafs, He's also going to be taken into account. This brings us back to the issue of hisab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will stand in front of Allah. And Allah will take you into account for the good that you did and the bad that you did. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah, sometimes you just reflect on the mercy of God. One of my most favorite hadith ever is when the Prophet ﷺ said that there's a man comes Yawm al-Qiyamah and he's laden with sins. Small sins, big sins, everything. He's got it all. And he stands in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring his saghirat, bring all his minor deeds. And as he's standing there, he's like, I don't want anyone to see my minor deeds because I've got loads of them. I've got loads of minor deeds. And Allah says, look, don't worry. There's a hijab here. Only you and me. Nobody else can see what's going on. And so He brings all of these minor sins, and Allah says, okay, let's change them all into good deeds. And in an instant, Allah changes them all into good deeds. Then the man says, Allah, I've got some major bad deeds. Yeah? How do you feel, if you're in the mood of transformation? I've got some really bad sins, and I could do some really good sins, yeah? So Allah says, bring forth His kabirat. And Allah changes them into good deeds. And He's entering into Jannah. SubhanAllah, you just think like, the mercy of God, you know. He must have done something right. Something, maybe even it was a small thing. We know about the prostitute who gave water to a dog and she went into Jannah. You know, like one of the things, like, you know, we read this ayah often, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. As-salihat here means small deeds. Don't need to do too much. Just do it sincerely. Just do it a little bit sincerely. Maybe that will be the reason for you to enter into Jannah. May Allah give us that. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Okay? We'll finish off now this ayah. Then the ayat of dua come down. Okay? These are the ayahs of supplication. The supplication. The common theme in all of this has been the issue of burden. The issue of a burden upon the back. The issue of difficulty upon the back. So Allah said, رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا. Okay? Oh Allah, do not take us to account. تُؤَاخِذْنَا comes from أَخْذَ, which is literally take something. I've taken this. أَخَذَ. So لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا, don't like seize us. Don't seize us, end up throwing us into hellfire. إِن نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا. If we forgot or we made a mistake. If we forgot, نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا, or we made a mistake. Now, you know, one of the things we have to look at is the beauty of this. This is a past tense verb. What does a past tense verb mean? Happened, isn't it? Does it mean it's happening now? No, it's gone. It's gone. It's happened, right? What does that suggest then? If you've forgotten, right, or if you made a mistake, what should be the resolve when you've forgotten something or you've made a mistake? Don't do it again. Don't do it again. But you see, forgetting it, although it's something that's within our nature, it's dangerous. Adam alayhi salam forgot. Okay, Yunus alayhi salam forgot. People forgot. Allah says, أَحْصَاهُ اللَّهُ وَنَسُوهُ. Allah Ta'ala brought them all together and they forgot Him. Okay? Allah Ta'ala, He says that, you know, they forgot Allah, نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَنَسِيَهُمْ. They forgot Allah and then Allah forgot them. Right? So forgetting is dangerous. Right? You got to remember. That's part of your life, to remember what's right for you, what's good for you. But Allah puts that in the past tense, giving you the thing that, Ya Allah, you know, don't take us to account if I've forgotten, and yeah, I'm not going to forget again. Allah Ta'ala could have put that in the present. Because what does the present tense mean? Like, I'm doing it right now. But by Allah putting it in the past tense, He's trying to make you think like, you know, I don't want to make that mistake again. I've done it in the past, I don't want to do that again. Yeah? And then, like, okay, so we've forgotten, oh, akhta'na, oh, we made a mistake. And if a person gets to a stage when they make a mistake, what is the process? First they forget, then they make the mistake. So it's connected. But Allah says, it's a possibility that you didn't forget, you just made the mistake. So Allah says, even if I forgot, or even if I made the mistake, in both circumstances, Allah, don't take me to account. Allah, don't take me to account. Yeah, don't take me to account if I end up forgetting, if I end up, you know, missing up. The issue of forgetfulness, when does it become a problem? When you intend to forget. So let's say you're asleep or something, and then you wake up and the Zuhr time is gone, right? Maybe you forgot to put the alarm on. That's something. But if you're like, okay, I'm going to watch this movie. I know how long left until Zuhr, and I know it's going to take, 4 hours. Might as well finish the movie. Well, what's the point in breaking half? That's it. You're intentionally like, oh yeah, I'm going to forget. You can't play games with Allah. Yeah, you can't play games with Allah. Allah Ta'ala knows, yeah. It would be foolish for us to play games with Allah. Yeah. Oh, I know we've made a mistake. Now, رَبَّنَا وَلَا تَحْمِلْ عَلَيْنَا إِسْرًا. Oh Allah, and do not put upon us an isr. Isr in the Arabic language means something which is coiled together and like tied together like with a rope. Right? Don't put upon us this type of burden that literally clasps onto us, كَمَا حَمَلْتَهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِنَا. As you placed upon those before us. As you placed upon those before us. MashaAllah, my du'as have been answered. So, and do not take us to account, don't give us that type of burden that you gave to others before. One of the things that we recite in Surah Al-Fatiha, what is the thing that we recite in Surah Al-Fatiha? After asking Allah Ta'ala for guidance upon the straight path, what do we ask Him? Give us that type of guidance on the path of those people, an'amta alayhim. You favored. What does that mean? All of the people in the entire creation who Allah favored, and they were successful, favored, meaning that they've already been favored. They've succeeded. Those people, I want that path. What does that mean? That means that every single story we see about those who are successful in the Quran, that is all under that one ayah. All of the prophets, all of the messengers, their stories, all the pious people, Dhul Qarnayn, all of the Habib al-Najjar, all of these stories that are mentioned in the Quran, all those successful people, that's all under Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim. Why did Allah Ta'ala reveal those? Why did Allah Ta'ala reveal Surah Yusuf? Why did Allah Ta'ala have to go into so much discussion about what his brothers did to him and he was thrown into the well and all of these things and the allegations of immorality with the why did Allah Ta'ala do that? Why did Allah Ta'ala speak about Musa alayhi salam and how he left from the mountain and his people took a calf as a god and all of these things? Why did Allah Ta'ala speak about Ibrahim alayhi salam and the struggles that he had with his father trying to believe, and then he had to leave his wife and he had to slaughter his son? Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ went through tests as well, and Allah Ta'ala is saying, look, your test is going on, but I've tested those before you. But don't worry, you'll be alright. When you go through test, when you go through trial and tribulation, you should remember, could be a lot worse. I'll give you an example. I'll be a bit candid about this. Yeah. So, alhamdulillah, I'm getting married next week. Yeah. And one of the things that's interesting, I've just been just chilling. Yeah. Just meeting people and stuff. And wallahi, Allah Ta'ala is my witness to this. In work, the past 5 or 6 people I've spoken to having problems with marriage. Serious problems, separations and things. I just think, subhanallah, what people are going through, what tests they're going through. Yeah, and you just think, just whatever whatever issues you might be going through, what is Allah Ta'ala putting on other people? What are the tests that they're going through? You don't know. Yeah, and so Allah Ta'ala says, don't put a burden upon us like those from before us. That's the whole purpose of reading the stories of the prophets that have gone before. Why? So that you realize the burden that they had and the test that they had. Okay. May Allah Ta'ala, grant us safety and security. One of the famous stories of one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, whilst they're going through so much persecution in Makkah, right? Khabbab ibn Arrat comes to the Prophet ﷺ and says, Ya Rasulullah, make dua against these Quraysh. Look at the pain that we're going through. Look at the struggle that we're going through. Why are you not making dua for us? The Prophet ﷺ, he got angry. He said, the people before you, their whole bodies were chopped in half for La ilaha illallah. What test did they have? And you're being persecuted. What test did they have? But one of the things that we should remember, number one, is the issue of this test that you're going through. Allah Ta'ala knows it's not beyond your capacity. Number two, could be a lot worse. Could always be a lot worse. But Allah Ta'ala has protected you. See, part of us reading these ayahs at night, reading our Ayatul Kursi, reading our Bismillah when we leave, these are protection. Why is it that you walk out, on your street and you're able to walk to your car easily and you're able to drive to work easily? Why is it that a truck man just come and crash you, smash you up? There's no protection from Allah. That small Bismillah that you read as soon as you left your home, you don't know what that's doing in the unseen realm. You don't know how Allah loves that so much that you're making the effort. There's a story of this man, he was a Muslim by name, but he was just a joker, right? To the extent where he would just drink. And so one day he's in the pub, but one of the adat that he's got from his parents, he just says Bismillah, always. So he's there, got the drink, right? Got full pint. Ajib, isn't it? People's realities, yeah. So bottoms up, Bismillah, and he just knocks it. And and what's even more great is his girlfriend with him. And so he's drinking, and the girlfriend says, "What is this you're doing?" And he goes, "Oh, nothing, it's just a bad habit." And she said, "No, what is it?" And he said, "Oh, just Bismillah." No, tell me, what is it? And he said, "Well, my parents used to tell me that you read the name of Allah." Reading, whatever he's drinking, yeah? But, Bismillah. And from that, she changed her life, he changed his life, and then they get married. They change their life just from one Bismillah. In the pub! Yeah? In the pub! One Bismillah. See the power of the word of Allah? We often don't think about these things. Okay? Do not put that burden upon us that you put upon those before. رَبَّنَا وَلَا تُحَمِّلْنَا مَا لَا طَاقَةَ لَنَا بِهِ. Now this is now emphasis. So tahmil, to put a burden. Tuhammil, to put intense amount of burden upon us. Whenever you have one of the things you learn, whenever you have more words in something, it increases in emphasis. كلما زيد في المبنى زيد في المعنى. So here you have ta, ha, mim, lam. Here we have ta, ha, mim, mim. There's 2 memes there. Yeah, mushaddad means 2 mim, then lam. So tahmil means to put a burden. Tuhammil, so what would that mean? Huge amount of burden. Intense amount of burden. More and more and more burden. That's what that means. So it's the dua is getting more and more intensified. Now it's saying, Ya Allah, don't put so much burden upon us مَا لَا طَاقَةَ لَنَا بِهِ, so that we have no taqah, we have no strength left to be able to deal with it. Don't make our backs with this burden that you have upon us. Okay? Make our affair easy for us. Yeah? Oftentimes, we need to learn from the Prophet. One of the things that the Prophet says, that, أَفْضَلَ الدِّينِ أَيْسَرَهُ. The best of religion is the easy path. Don't make things hard for people. I often mention the story of one of the we used to get involved. Umar knows these Islamic awareness weeks and stuff that we used to do. So we were part of all of these things, and there's a story of this man, and he becomes a Muslim, right? MashaAllah. And then he gets into wrong company. So these people are saying, right, from tomorrow, John, no more ham, no more bacon, Fajr, Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, Tasbih, Thawb, Topi, everything. Take every much, somehow start scraping off your tattoo, go hardcore. And poor Bachara John, he was, he couldn't take it. And he left. SubhanAllah, astaghfirullah al-azim. Yeah? That burden will be upon those people. Make things easy for people. These are not meant to be hard. Not meant to make things hard for people. Take the easier path. Okay, this is what we learn from our Prophet ﷺ. And then, these beautiful words of wa'fu anna, waghfir lana, warhamna. Okay? What is the difference between these three? So, wa'fu anna, to have afu for somebody, is when you forgive somebody lovingly. So, Umar is at my house, okay? And he finds out that I've got magnums, okay? So he goes quietly into my freezer and takes a view, yeah? And unfortunately for Umar, he's not very clever. So he's eating and he's got magnum all over his mouth, alright? And then I'll come and say, Umar, what's going on, right? And he's like, yeah, alhamdulillah. And he's just like, and I have an affinity to magnum, I like magnum. And this guy is like, and I'm like, Umar, have you had my magnum? He's like, no, nothing, not at all, right? So, what is afu? If you used to say, oh, Yusuf, please forgive me. No, alright, well, alright, fine. But I still might be angry. Afu is say, okay, I'll forgive you. Here's another one. Yeah, here's another one. That's afu, loving. Yeah? Like if a child comes and breaks that special vase that's in the sitting room, that no one's allowed to go in that sitting room, and it's that special vase that no one's allowed to touch, and he smashes it all up, right? And then he goes to the... And then the father's got two options, right? He can, smash another vase against him, or say, okay, Putra, it's fine, right, and give him a hug. That's afu. So it's as if, what is the problem here? Is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put whatever burden He's put upon us, and we do not come out good at the end of it. Our iman is weak. Yeah? We have done more bad than good. And despite all of that at the end, wa'fu. Oh Allah, take your rage out. Take your anger out. Be loving in your forgiveness. Forgive us in a loving way. Give us those magnums. Yeah? Don't worry about the vase. Be merciful. That's afu. Now, one of the du'as that we recite the last 10 days of Ramadan, Allahumma innaka afu, kareemun tuhibbul afu fa'fu anna. Oh Allah, you are afu, you are the loving, forgiving one. You love to forgive in a loving way. Fa'fu anna, so forgive us in a loving way. Yeah? So we ask Allah Ta'ala, oh Allah, take that rage out, forgive us. Then, waghfir lana, then forgive us. And from the ghufran of Allah is to veil something. So Allah, cover up our sins. Part of Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness, part of Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness is not only that He forgives you, He hides your sins from people. And part of Allah Ta'ala's damnation upon you is when He makes your sins apparent. And we ask Allah for safety and security. Because in an age of social media where people are willingly showing their sins to other people, right? Part of Allah Ta'ala's maghfirah is that He veils that. He veils that. And then after all of that, warhamna, have mercy on us, Ya Allah. Oh, Ya Allah, we're only going to get into Jannah with your rahmah. With your mercy, we're only going to get into Jannah. Envelop us in that mercy. And don't allow us to make those same mistakes again. That's part of the rahmah of Allah. If, for example, you have a bad habit, and you stop that bad habit, that's the mercy of Allah. That's the mercy of Allah taking away all of those environments that cause you to not engage in that sin. Let's say, for example, a person smokes, and he only smokes when there's all those people around him. Right? He's got a certain group of people around him. Then let's say those people, they go. And he ends up stopping smoking as a result. That's the rahmah of Allah. That's the mercy of Allah when He stops you from going back into bad sins. That's the mercy of God. Yeah? Anta Mawlana. You are our Mawla. You are our protector. Mawla comes from Wali. Wali means like a special friend. It means a special kind of friend. You are our Mawla. Fansurna. So then give us strength. Give us strength and give us victory upon those who disbelieve. Okay? I want to finish on one final point, inshallah, and then we will end. Two final points. The first thing is this. But these are personal du'as. These are personal du'as, yeah? Allah, don't take us to account if we forget, if we make mistakes. Okay? Don't overburden us. This is a personal thing. Then we start speaking about qawm al-kafirin, about the disbelieving people. So it goes from personal to now public. So think about the kafirin now at the time of the Prophet. The Prophet was the greatest of creation. He was the most beautiful of speech, the best da'i, the best caller to Islam. In every way, he called people to be good people. He called people to be, respectful to their parents, to their children, to women folk. He told people not to cheat in trade. He did all of this good ethics, good behavior, everything, and still people disbelieved in him. So after that, then he makes the dua, Ya Allah, after all of that, after being in such a great, attitude and great people, if I still can't change them, then only victory from you. That's what he says. Okay? Look at us. Why do we have the enemies that we have? We cheat people in trade, don't we? We are the ones on the news for the wrong reasons. Yeah? We are the ones who are not good people in communities. Yeah? We are the ones who, we always get the bad headlines. Like you look at these kind of things like, people like hate people who hate Islam. They don't, if you look at the majority of people who hate Islam, they don't hate Islam from a principle perspective. They hate Islam because of Muslims and the behavior of Muslims. And their ignorance is that they connect Islam with the actions of people. That's their ignorance. But you can't tell them. You're there with a beard and you're like, you're being in a road rage. Well, what are they going to think? Yeah, that's that Muslim guy. So the Prophet ﷺ was making dua against the people that disbelief after all of the effort and the great statesman that he was, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How come we make that dua, but what is our behavior? I want to finish on one final point. The final point is that when the Prophet Adam alayhi salam, he ate from that tree, okay, it's mentioned in Surah Baqarah, towards the start of Surah Baqarah. When he eats from this tree, Allah Ta'ala, he sends him down to the earth. He sends him down to the earth and he says to him, okay, قُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا مِنْهَا جَمِيعًا فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ مِنِّي هُدًى فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. That go down now upon this earth, and if you find any guidance of mine, then follow it, and you will have no fear upon you and not be sad. So Allah Ta'ala, what does he do to Adam alayhi salam? He's in the heavens, and he brings him down, and he tells him to follow the guidance. Look at the end of the surah. The Prophet ﷺ is the beacon of guidance, and Allah sends him up and he gives him these ayahs. Look how Allah Ta'ala brought Adam ﷺ down there and advised him to seek guidance. And this is the Prophet ﷺ now being not only the bearer of guidance but also the recipient of guidance. Allah sends him back up. That same guidance that Allah spoke to Adam ﷺ about, follow that guidance. He says to the Prophet ﷺ at the arsh of Allah. Okay. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to become people who reflect upon this. And may Allah allow us to become people who follow this guidance. Okay, and become people who are sincere in this. One final thing. Okay? With my finals, there's this final after final, yeah? This is a finale of finales now. Right? Okay, so basically, just to kind of like, just a bit of a point. So, one of the things that you learn when you kind of teach, one of the things that you learn when you learn, and then what you learn when you teach is that you learn how to teach. Okay, so like we've had like a kind of a interesting broken up bit of curriculum that we've had so far with the students, and probably they're more confused than anything, about what we've gone through. But what I've been working on in the past couple of months is like a kind of a refined syllabus of how I feel like we can approach the Arabic language. Okay, we are all intelligent people, and Arabic is not something that is difficult for us. Okay, if you really think about it. Me, someone like me who has a very low IQ, I'll get the main general gist of it. People who are a lot more intelligent than me, a lot more educated than me, it's just about how much you want it. And I often mention this to like students that the sweetness of Arabic is when you're standing in Taraweeh. I'm telling you, when you stand in Taraweeh and you understand what the Imam is reciting, You see, for so many years, what is our experience of Taraweeh? 20 rakats, okay. Okay, 20, alright, okay, so if I calculate, two rakats is about 5 minutes, okay, so 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, we're looking about an hour here usually, okay. Right, okay, now I've gone past like 16, and this was hard, no, long one, wasn't it? Okay, that's all we're thinking about, isn't it? Right, we're just calculating the end. Yeah, how are we going to get to the end? Right, and then we get to the last rakah and he's doing long surah, like, man, it's got one left. What is this, right? You know what I mean? What if we understood what Allah Ta'ala was saying? How about that? What if what Allah Ta'ala, what if we understood that? You know, like we see Sheikh Sudais crying in Taraweeh. Why is he crying? Yeah, because he understands what Allah Ta'ala is saying to him. So like, that's just one thing. Yeah. Imagine like, you're listening to Quran or you listen to some, you're on Commentary Road and you hear some Quran and you understand it. I'm telling you, the sweetness is unparalleled. There's nothing like it. Even better than Magnum, yeah? There's nothing like it, right? So we have to make endeavor. We have to make effort. So we're trying we're going to try this kind of an endeavor of like a kind of refined kind of program where we teach people literally from basics. All you need to be able to do is read Arabic, okay? And inshallah we'll take it from that point up until I believe in this concept called like the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is that if you put 20% worth of effort, you get 80% of the results, right? So let's say you put 20% of effort, you get 80% of the results, right? Now, how do you get the rest of that 20%? You got to put 80% effort. So what's the logical thing to do first? Go for the 20%, right? And get that 80% reward. Yeah, so that's how I kind of built this program. So it's basic stuff. What you'll find is like the first 10 lessons, you'll find you'll probably end up learning about 60% of the Quran like that. Okay, so inshallah, we will make it all public and stuff like that. After in the coming years, maybe we'll start this some point, maybe December or January time. But I want you guys just to have a yearning and a passion for this. Okay, to want to learn. This book. Hujjatun laka alayk. It will be a proof for you against Yawm al-Qiyamah. Let it be a proof for us. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Jazakumullah khair, inshallah. Wa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi. Jazakumullah khair.